Here in March, nears an end, we continue to take a look at how the past has shaped the present and where we go from here.
That's right. During my travels to Seneca Falls, I spoke with people who are passionate about women's rights and hopeful for greater strides in the future.
The first wave is on display at the Women's Rights National Historical Park, highlighting the first few men and women to boldly proclaim a need for change. At that very first Women's Rights Convention, about 100 people signed that petition. But that was just the beginning. Nearly 175 years ago, that convention sparked a movement with the Declaration of Sentiments. And that progressive statement that all men and women are created equal found new momentum again just over 100 years ago with one of the largest grassroots movements in American political history.
When women do get the right to vote in 1920, 19th Amendment passes, millions of women go to the polls for the first time ever, and we should be rightfully proud of that. But we also have to acknowledge that segregation is still the law of the land in much of the country, and so many women do not, and many women cannot and will not for another 40, 50 years until the Voting Rights Act passes.
Everyone we spoke with agrees there's a lot more work to be done.
I think there's a lot to be learned from the past, whether it's Women's History Month or Black History Month. There's so much we can learn about paving the way for the future to make things better.
Equal pay for equal work. That's tough. We're still at 70 cents a dollar. Way better than what it was in 1848, but it's not solved.
But there is hope, especially in the realm of education.
Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who's the architect of everything that happens here, she is not able to go to college. There's no colleges at that time that will admit women. The first female graduates with a baccalaureate degree will be 3 women who graduate from Oberlin in 1840, 8 years before the convention.
In fact, today we see more women than men pursuing degrees in higher education. And as folks reflect on the past, mindsets change. The young visitors at the Women's Rights National Historical Park are already experiencing this.
Do you feel like the things that you learn today will change you and your approach in life?
I say so because you can see the whole spectrum. As I'm a guy, I only see kind of the one side of it. While now I have both sides, I can make a decision kind of somewhere in the middle.
Definitely realized how much they worked, and I've never, some things I didn't learn of, I never learned, but I'm very grateful and changed a lot. And now I'm going to change my perspective of how I view things.
I'll be honest, I loved everything about the trip. The photographer that I went with, Mike Prince, he and I got to explore everything that they had there, and we got to speak to these young folks and some people who were a little more seasoned in life as well. And sure. Everybody learned something. There was something eye-opening for everybody.
Yeah, even just in that last little 2-minute piece, I learned that obviously when women got the right to vote back in the early part of the last century, I didn't know that for some, it was decades until they actually went to the polls to cast those votes.
It's something, isn't it?
Yeah, something we can all learn from. Thanks so much for taking that trip and teaching us a little bit along the way.
Absolutely, and we have more tomorrow and the next day.
All right, yeah, looking forward. 2 more days to go.